What's going on, guys? Today is Tuesday, July 2nd, 2024. Can you believe we're in July already? It's crazy. These years flying on by. Um, I just want to talk about this in this video, and I'm this is just gonna be titled "Looks is Everything." Screw what anybody got to say. Screw what anybody got to tell you. Looks is everything. There was a R&B group back in the 90s. They were very popular then. IMX, Immature. They had some good music. One thing you can know, one thing I could tell about these types of dudes, they didn't have a very masculine type of energy. And I'm sure you guys know what I'm talking about. I'm sure you've seen men who don't exude a masculine aura. They don't have a dominant masculine persona, but yet they get plenty women. And Immature, all three of these cats were pretty boy type dudes. And women were head over heels for these dudes. Because growing up, listening to a lot of rap, I used to think you gotta be a rough macho type of dude. I used to think you gotta be somebody like DMX barking with wife beaters on and, bandanas on your head. You don't have to be that. And growing up in church, I used to see a lot of effeminate men who had wives, and it used to blow my freaking mind. Like, women telling me that I'm soft and I'm too nice, but meanwhile, you got a dude up here with his legs crossed, no masculine energy at all, no masculine aura at all, but yet he has a wife and kids. So this is why I say looks is everything. As a man, you don't have to be masculine. As a man, you don't have to be macho. You just got to look good to women. Because that R&B group, Immature, they weren't macho type of guys. They weren't these masculine, rah type of dudes, but women loved them. So with that being said, that's just enough to let you know that as a man, being masculine, being masculine, it's a good thing to be, you want to be a man, you are a man, but there are dudes out here who are not masculine, they're not macho, they're very effeminate, and they still get in the booty. So that's enough to let me know right there that as a man, it's all about looks. Because I used to be blown away when I see certain dudes with women, like, he has a woman in his life, but he doesn't even act like a man. He don't even act macho. I've seen dudes like this, but I've had women, tell me that my voice sound funny. And I've had women tell me that I'm a fruity, women, they tell a lot of, especially in the urban community, women, they tell a lot of clean cut brothers from the suburbs that they're a fruity pebble. But meanwhile, you got dudes out here who don't act masculine at all, but yet they still got a woman. That doesn't make any sense. And I'm sure you guys that had a religious upbringing, you've seen men in church who don't act masculine. They don't have a macho aura, and they still have a wife and children. So that's just enough to let me know that looks is everything. Looks is everything. Like, if you look good to women, it don't matter if you don't have a dominant masculine persona. And especially a lot of sisters are so stupid to realize that a lot of these thugs that you think are so masculine, they the ones who gave you a disease. Shows you how stupid these sisters are. A lot of these thugs that you think are so masculine, you think he a real man. If he's such a real man, why won't he step up to the plate and take care of his children? So that's why I'm saying, like, a lot of sisters, especially within in the urban community, a lot of sisters, they define masculinity as one of these thuggish type of men. But it's like, he the main one who gave you a disease that you can't get rid of. And I just realized that you don't even have to have a macho type of persona, because I've seen it time and time again, and I'm sure you guys have seen it. Dudes who don't exude any kind of masculine, any type of masculine energy, and they still got a wife and children. So when you see dudes that don't exude any kind of masculine energy, they have very effeminate type of energy, but they still got a wife and kids, that's how you know it's all about looks. It's all about looks. The reason why certain men are just left out in the dust and why we suffering the way that we are, women just find us to be ugly men. That's why we're suffering. That's why we can't get a family. Women find us dudes to be ugly. That's all it is to it. We just don't have the looks that these women checking for. I know what it is. I'm not in denial anymore, because when you see dudes who, these pretty boy dudes, a lot of these so-called, attractive dudes that women go for, a lot, some of these dudes don't even have masculine energy. Especially like these pretty boy type dudes, a lot of them don't have masculine energy at all. They just got the looks that women like. And that's what I had to realize. As a man, you don't even have to exude masculine energy. Long as you look good to a woman. That's all they care about. And I know it's a lot of guys out there who don't even think they're ugly. A lot of dudes don't even think they're ugly. They may not feel that they're nothing special to women, but a lot of cats don't even feel that they're a hideous looking dude. They just not being selected. It doesn't matter. That's why I always say it doesn't matter what a man think about himself. Because a lot of these dudes don't even think they ugly. They don't even feel that they no hideous looking man. But it's all about what these stupid women think in their head when they look at a man. And I just think to myself, if their judgment was so accurate when it come to men, how come they find themselves in some of the worst type of positions when it come to men? How come they find themselves in all of these toxic relationships if their judgment was so accurate when it come to choosing men? This is why I know for a fact it's all about looks. Don't let nobody tell you that it's about personality. Don't let nobody tell you that it's about anything else. Because people just love to throw shaming tactics at guys who are not selected by women. It's all about looks at the end of the day. It's all about looks. When you got dudes out here who don't even act like a man, but yet they got a wife and kids, that just go to show you. Women just choosing these men because they like the way they look. And I'm sure a lot of you guys can relate, having women telling you that you soft and you less of a man, but yet they messing with dudes who don't even act masculine, and in a lot of these sisters' mind, for them to think that you soft, you just got to be a brother that's from the suburbs. That's enough for them to think you soft and less of a man, because you a brother that's from the suburbs. So that's why I say women, they just going off looks, and the games are up. The games are up. It was another R&B group that I'll mention before I end this presentation, B2K. They had some good songs. B2K, those dudes were not macho type of dudes. They didn't exude any real masculine energy. But you know what? Women were crazy for that group. They were crazy for them dudes because they found them to be good looking. They were all pretty boys. So don't let no one try to shame you or tell you that you're not man enough, you're not masculine enough. That ain't got nothing to do with it. Women just think you're ugly. But on that note, I'm going to sign out. Have a good day. What's going on, guys? Back with another late night discussion. I just want to say for the record, I want to say this. A lot of us, we know that we've been lied to, we've been bamboozled, we've been told a lot of nonsense. When it comes to these entities, I'm going to call these people entities, they are judging us by superficial things. We already know that. And don't never let no one tell you that you got to put yourself out there. You got to put yourself out there. You got to make an effort to connect with women. You don't have to put yourself out there, and you don't have to put forth no effort. You don't have to make yourself known. You don't have to do none of that. See, a lot of guys, we've been told that as a man, you got to make the first move on a woman. You got to pursue a woman. All of that nonsense. No, you don't have to make the first move. If a woman like you, if they feel that you're a good looking man, they'll open their gates. They'll open their stank fish doors for you. So you don't have to work. You don't have to go out of your way trying to get at females, and you don't have to do none of that. See, they tell guys, oh, you got to put yourself out there. No, you don't have to put yourself out there, because women are whores, and women make themselves available to men that they like. See, if a woman like you, they'll get aggressive. You know, they'll start throwing shots at you. They'll make it blatantly obvious that they like you, and they'll make it easy for you. See, when you have to deal with flaking, and you make advances to women, and they ignore phone calls, ignore text messages. See, when you a man and you got to deal with that, women just feel you ugly, straight up and down. They just don't feel you. They just don't find you to be a good looking man. If you're a good looking man, you don't have to deal with all that when it comes to a woman. You don't have to deal with a woman ignoring your phone calls, ignoring your messages. They'll be calling you. They'll be texting you, seeing what you doing, what you up to, what you got popping. So a lot of guys been told that, oh, you got to put yourself out there. No, you don't got to put yourself out there. I used to believe that you got to put yourself out there. You don't have to put yourself out there. If women like you, they will come to you, and they will make it apparent that they like you and want to be with you. You don't have to go looking for love. If it's meant to be, it'll find you. If it's meant to be, it will find you. If you a man and you got if you got to put yourself out there as a man, it's because women find you to be ugly, straight up and down. Women don't find you to be a good looking man. Cause if you a dude that women find sexy, that women find good looking, you don't got to put yourself out there. You don't have to jump through all these hoops and play all these BS games. You don't have to deal with that if women find you to be a good looking man. You don't have to deal with none of that. That's why I don't waste my time putting myself out there. because I realized that's a lie. Men who are attractive to women, pussy come to them. They don't have to go looking for pussy. It'll find them. See, women are shallow at the end of the day, and they choosing up on men that they like. So what I had to learn, you don't have to go out of your way trying to talk to no woman, making advances to no woman, because if women like you, they will come to you. That's what I had to realize. You don't have to go out of your way to get no woman's attention. And as a man, if you always gotta, make the first move when it come to women, that's a clear sign right there that women find you to be an ugly, busted type of man. You shouldn't have to always be the one to make the first move. If women like you, they'll show some kind of interest in you. They'll be checking for you. So don't let, that's why I had to realize that people say, oh, you got to just put yourself out there. For what? You ain't going to get nothing in return. It ain't going to turn out well for you. So don't waste your time. See, a lot of guys, we just been lied to. We've been bamboozled. Being told that, oh, you got to pursue the woman. You got to put yourself out there. No. If you a sexy dude, you don't got to put yourself out there. Women will come to you if they like you. Keyword, if they like you. So as a man, if no women are checking for you, if no women are expressing any interest in you, they think you ugly, straight up and down. They think you're an ugly man. So don't even waste your time. Give up, throw in the towel, and just accept being a failure. See, that's the type of mindset that I got when it comes to dating and relationships. Throw in the towel, be a quitter, and give up. And that's the kind of mindset to have. Now, some people would say, well, that's a negative mindset. No, that's not negative. That's a real mindset. That's a real mindset, because when you understand that women are checking for dudes that they like, if women ain't checking for you as a man, why put yourself out there? I mean, what's the point? Because women do check for men that they like, and they make it very easy for them. So if women are not checking for you, if they're not reciprocating any interest in you, you might as well give up and throw in the towel. That's using your brain. That's using common sense. See, I used to believe, and I'm sure a lot of guys used to believe, oh, you got to put yourself out there when it comes to women. You ain't got to put yourself out there. Natural selection is a real thing. And I've heard people talk about natural selection. It's real. If women like you, they will show interest in you as a man. You don't have to jump through all these hoops and deal with all these mind games. That's what I had to learn. If you a man and you got to go out of your way to pursue women, it's because they don't find you attractive. They don't find you to be a good looking man. So don't even waste your time. That's why I don't waste my time pursuing women, because I already know it's not going to end well for me. And I already know I ain't going to get a damn thing. I know where I stand, and a lot of guys know where they stand. And I don't blame certain dudes for just not wasting their time when it comes to women. They don't go out of their way trying to approach. Because when you understand that women make themselves available, women become aggressive when it's a man that they like. Women are sluts anyway. They'll throw themselves at dudes that they like. So as a man, if you gotta always make advances to women, and that just proves that women just find you to be a bad looking man. They just don't find you to be a good looking guy. So don't even waste your time. You don't, that's one of the biggest lies that they tell guys. Oh, you got to put yourself out there. No, you don't got to put yourself out there. If women ain't checking for you, you don't need to put yourself out there, because you're not going to get nothing no way. And that's just the truth, And that's my advice to any dude. Don't even waste your time putting yourself out there, because it ain't going to end well for you. And, they tell certain dudes, oh, you got to tell women what they want to hear. A woman don't want to hear nothing that a man she feel is unattractive got to say. If a dude is not all that attractive and he don't have nothing, don't no woman want to hear nothing you got to say. And that's just the truth. You know, if a man is not all that good looking to women and he don't have nothing, no woman wants to hear anything that man has to say. And that's just the honest to God truth. Women are shallow people. And a lot of guys, we've been bamboozled, being told that you got to put yourself out there. You do not have to put yourself out there when it comes to women. Women will come to you if they like you. If a woman like what she see, she'll throw herself at you. She'll become aggressive. So if no women are throwing themselves at you, that's because they don't find you attractive. And I just wanted to debunk this myth here. People talking about, oh, as a man, you got to put yourself out there. Putting yourself out there is a waste of time. Shooting your shot is a waste of time if women don't find you to be a good looking man to begin with. So don't even try. Just give up and quit. But that's been tonight's discussion. You guys have a good night.